Credit card fraudsters are using the coronavirus pandemic as a time to pounce. Attempted debit and credit fraud transactions rose 35% in April from a year earlier. Yahoo Finance's Ethan Wolff-Mann joins us with the details. Ethan, this is bad. Should I just go back to using cash? It's not good.
You can try using cash, Brian, but you will have a hard time trying to pay over the internet with it. This is the really interesting thing, I think, is we've moved in the past few years from this this swipe model. We've added the chip, we've added the tap, all these extra things, trying to make it easier. Now we can't use any of it, and we're forced simply to use the online interfaces, which generally are pretty good. But right now, and actually this is something that all the processors said was going to happen, that with the difficulties of doing frauds in person, that they would just go to the internet. And clearly the pandemic situation of people being in confinement has led to an explosion of this. It's also been a really easy or a far easier environment to take advantage of people who are maybe more stressed, I think is fair to say, from the public health crisis and the economic crisis. And so this has been really a hotbed for a wide array of various scam activity. And so it's really no surprise that the credit card would be a big part of that.
So Ethan, does this have anything to do with the rising number of phishing emails and phishing phone calls? I mean, I've been getting them. Have they been on the rise? Is that sort of the method du jour for these bad actors out there?
Yeah, and phishing really relies on the manipulation of humans and their own behavior. Just think about somebody who's working from home, maybe with a child there, trying to juggle many things at once. You're going to have a really hard a harder time thinking really critically about everything. So a really good phishing attempt has a far greater likelihood of getting in there. Rather than in normal circumstances when you can maybe give a little bit more focus. I mean, everybody is stressed, which I think makes the ease of makes the vulnerability much higher for people. But when you have also people having to communicate more, over email, remotely, and less in person, you have more communications coming in, and so it may be less scrutiny for each one. But this is a really effective way that I think a lot of scammers are using. And also, you see this based with. We saw reserve your place in line for coronavirus testing a few months ago, scams like that. And so I think there's a lot of corona-connected scams and phishing attempts.
The problem here among many, Ethan, is that if my account is hacked and I call for a new card, I'm not getting that card, perhaps anytime soon.
Yeah, you see some credit card issuers being able to offer virtual cards. And kind of making it okay, because you don't necessarily need that physical card in your hand to do a transaction. You just need the numbers, you need it connected to your accounts. And so there have been some creative solutions out there, but not for everyone, not for every bank, and not for every credit card issuer. And so I think that if there is a delay in a replacement card coming in, that can really, really screw people up, and I think is just another layer of inconvenience on this whole thing that feeds this vulnerability loop.
Yeah, Ethan, I'll just say this too. I'm confused why I haven't gotten my whole wheat loaf of bread from your KitchenAid mixer behind you.
Brad, I sent you a bunch of them. I don't know. I mean, the mail service is really taxed. I think we can all. No,
I'm calling you out. That's fake news. All right, Ethan Wolff-Mann, always good to speak with you. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Soz.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.